of Demon 305, and we have the pleasure of hanging out with Director Mike Balado here at the beautiful Kendall campus at Miami-Dade College.
Thanks for coming by, man. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure, man. You are doing so many cool things in our community. You've been here, you're a Miami kid.
Yeah, born and raised here, man.
So much to talk about. We're gonna play a little bit, shoot around while we're talking.
Okay, I got you.
Tell us, where does your Miami story begin?
Man, I'll tell you the story. My dad came from Cuba, and he had no idea, there was really no basketball shown over there, right? So when he was working at a dry cleaner, he used to own a dry cleaner.
In Cuba?
No, here. He got one here. And in the back, they used to play the Boston Celtics games. So back when he was growing up, the Celtics were like a dynasty.
Of course.
Well, he didn't know.
Yeah.
Turns the TV on, they're getting their asses, their butts kicked.
Okay.
We're good. Their butts kicked by Oscar Robinson. They're losing by like 40. And the whole crowd is like, oh, the Celtics suck. So he started liking the underdog, not knowing they had won like 6 championships. So really my love for basketball and sports started with Larry Bird. I related to him because I wasn't the guy that can jump over the rim and dunk it. I wasn't, but he had all this craftiness. So I watched his game and I just started loving it from there, and it took me a lot of places. And I thank basketball for giving me the opportunity to, be able to meet a lot of people and do a lot of different things.
At what point do you realize you want to go into higher ed? Because it seems that you've been in higher ed your whole life, yep. Right? At what point after high school you're like, man, I want to go to college? Well,
I think to get a scholarship, first thing is my dad sat me down and said, just so you know.
You gotta stop showing off, man.
Yes, he said, just so you know, I'm gonna need some help paying for school. Okay. So I think one of the greatest ways is either academics or athletics. Well, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't the greatest student. And that's what I try to teach now. I was really focused on other stuff like the sports part. And I was good enough, thank goodness, to get a scholarship. I played at St. Thomas University right here in Miami.
Right here in Miami?
Yeah, I got my school paid for 4 years. And, it was really there with the coach that I had, Gary Toole. Was an assistant coach at Louisville for a long time, really good coach. I really started to love the game because of the way he approached it every day, and that's why I really wanted to coach.
What are some things that you learned while you were playing ball, in college? Like, what are some things, some life takeaways that you learned while you were there?
I think the number one thing that college athletes really deal with on a daily basis, whether it's small or big, whether it's a quick moment in a game or maybe in academics or whatever it is dealing with adversity. I think people need to understand that adversity is going to hit us no matter what. Yeah. We're going to run into issues in our life that we don't want, and we have to learn how to deal with them. And athletics teaches you that. If you're down 1 in a game or if you're not playing well in a game, what can you do to help your team win that game? If you're not doing well in school, what extra things can you do? A tutor, study hall. There's always something in life that we're going to run into that's going to put us in a position where we don't like. So I think athletics, one of the things that always took away is how to deal with adversity.
I think sometimes we see like these titles like Director of Athletics, and it seems like this unattainable kind of thing. After graduating college, did you ever fathom that you would be in a position like that?
My goal was to coach. I really wanted to coach. Really? I mean, that's what I wanted to do.
What is it like that?
I think the interaction with the guys every day and making a difference in people's lives. I think that, these kids come from so many different backgrounds, so many different places, and like to get to know what they've been through, so many different characteristics, how to get a group of 5 guys or 10 guys that have all different personalities, learn different ways, come from different places to get to one common goal and winning a game for 40 minutes, And then the journey, like where they're at now. I get texts all the time from my former players. One guy's working in DC, another one's a police officer, another one's playing pro, another one's a teacher, another one's a principal, another one's in the Senate. Like those are things that when you get those texts, hey coach, thanks for being hard on me.
You still get those?
I still get those, man. I got one just yesterday. Guys like Donovan Mitchell, Terry Rozier, when I text them when they come in town, like they're so quick to, embrace the family and see how everything's doing. It's not about their stature. It's about their growth before their stature. And then us just having a great conversation, And that's the stuff in coaching that, as a director, I want to bring in and start, kind of building relationships.
How important is community, in these kind of times when you're looking for something? You found a passion, but now you just need to go for it. How important is community in those moments?
Man, what a great question. Yeah, I think the number one thing I try to tell people is, you know, when you say if you're successful, when you say you did it on your own, that's such a bad statement. Yeah. Even the guys that are in the NBA, like, oh, I worked on my own. No, somebody bought you your first pair of shoes. Somebody gave you your first basketball. Somebody gave you rides to the gym. Somebody let you in the gym. Somebody let you get by when you broke into the gym when they could have called the cops and didn't. There's always people that help, right? Yeah. And I think the number one thing I tell people, and the thing that I see the most is, man, networking is so important. Like community and knowing people in your community and being entrenched in your community and doing good things for people around the community.
Yes, we know how it is. You know how Miami is, guys. It's who you know, how you know them, how well you know them, and if they're willing to help you. And what have you done for me? Like, I do things for people with not expecting anything in return.
When you come into a position that's, it's familiar but yet different, like, what kind of goes through your head? Like, cause you have it all figured out. Like how am I gonna, like, Jesus, I have all these kids now that I have to take care of, all these departments, all these sports. Like, what kind of goes through your head? How do you prepare for that?
I don't think you can until you're in the moment. Like, we have great coaches. Our head coaches, our assistant coaches are phenomenal. We hire some new ones. We've had some that have been here for a while. They've really helped me. You know, especially the ones that have been here for a long time. They kind of taught me the ropes and kind of the rhythm of this place. You have to be very patient because you've been at so many different places that you want to implement things right away. And there are ways to do things. I've learned patience. I've learned approach. I've learned what things you can do, can't do. But my biggest thing was, like, it's more managing adults than managing kids. You know, each coach is in charge of their own team. I manage them when I need to, but those kids get managed by their head coaches. What information, what advice, how can I mentor them, the coaches, to make sure they mentor the student athletes the correct way? Yeah. And that was the exciting part for me. Like,
where do you see MDC Athletics going in the future?
We want to be the best junior college athletic program in the country. That's our goal. We want national championships in every sport. We have everything we need. We have the support from administration. We have the support on the academic side. We got support from the dean of students. We got support from student life. Like, everybody's on your side now. Now we got to do our part. Now we got to bring national championships so we can bring national and international notoriety about this school. Because if we get 5 kids to sign scholarships, but we get 500 to become students just because they like Miami-Dade, that's a win. If we get 1 student to enroll here because they heard about us or they watched us play, that's a win. And that's a goal, to increase, you know, the population of the school, to increase enrollment, and to get people to understand how great of a place this is. And the only way to do that is by getting out and talking about it, letting people know. So I appreciate you letting me do this, man.
Thanks so much, brother. We appreciate you,
all right,
man.
Kicked
my ass.
No, did I? Did you guys count the makes? I don't know how many I made.